him ever since, and he keeps its brass to his shine, a thing of beauty. Most nights at camp, Nelson sleeps with his instrument, fearing the other boys might try to steal his horn, not because they are jealous of the bugle, but because they know how precious it is to him. He sees them pointing at him during meals from the other side of their mess hall table, just as he sees that his own father does little to dispel their pointing, no more than the other fathers, or troop leaders, who sometimes eat with the boys, but as often as not seem to congregate at their own table. Nelson cannot imagine their conversation, these grown men in little boy uniforms, eating the same chow, mumbling the same prayers and campfire songs, oaths and incantations. The only voice Nelson ever hears rise in his defense, as it does every so often, is Jonathan Quick's, and even he seems to react more out of irritation or boredom, revulsion even, or a desire to be contrarian, than any particular allegiance or compassion. "Shut up, fellas," he'll say. "We're a troop, all right? Let's act like it." Or, "The next person who wants to tease Bugler can tease me. See how they like what happens next." That is what the other boys call him, he now knows. Bugler. Not to honor the job for which he is known, but rather just a nickname, spoken with derision. Another way to write him off. The path wends between pothole lakes left by steamroller glaciers. From the safety of trees, deer spy on Nelson, fidget, and then bound off deeper into the woods. Once a skunk scurried right past him, but thankfully left his tail lowered as he passed. The path opens up to the parade ground near the staff campsite, and already he hears activity coming from that direction. Indistinct voices, cabin doors clapping shut, water splashing. Counselors and other staff live in small cabins, and there is talk that someday even campers will move into such digs. The fog is so thick he cannot see the flagpole some 200 yards in the distance, the air heavy enough that he wonders if it was fruitless to iron his shirt. He marches forward, his leather boots slick with dew. At the flagpole, he consults his pocket watch, runs through a series of scales, and then at precisely 7 o'clock, slides his 2 feet together, stands perfectly erect, and raises his bugle to his lips to blow out reveille. The horn sounds out over the parade ground, a plain of grass draped before the hillock where the flagpole stands atop a fieldstone base, surrounded by a horseshoe of tall maples behind it. No matter what anyone else might think, Nelson revels in this responsibility, this sanctioned brass musical power he holds in his hands, blown deep from his belly and diaphragm, these bursts of notes that slice through the fog and into the forest, rip through those canvas tent walls, startle the forest creatures from their foraging, tingling even the dense white ear follicles of the camp's scoutmaster, Wilbur Whiteside, a man aged some 80 years, who at the joyful sound of Nelson's blasts will practically leap from his narrow bed in the administrative lodge, towels jauntily wrapped around his neck and narrow waist, a giant pair of goggles making his eyes as oversized as a frog's, and tiptoe lightly down to Bass Lake, where, parting the cattails, he will lunge naked into those serene waters, there to swim one down and back, his old man arms slicing the water. Nelson has never seen Wilbur's morning circuit, of course, but he's heard about it. An older boy, perhaps up early to fish, startled by the sight of pale old Wilbur cutting his way through the lake. By now, Nelson sees a few of the camp's counselors making their way toward the tent pole, stuffing shirt flaps into shorts, cinching belts, hiking olive green socks high up on skinny-kneed legs. They come toward him talking hoarsely, laughing low. He can hear their boots squeaking over dewed grass, their pocket change music, their hocks and loogies. If asked to label his admiration of these young men, he would call them heroes. But no one, of course, does ask him, and so his regard for them stays secret. A few of them consider him a brown-nosing toady, but most of them are affable enough and kind in their interactions with him. They are, of course, what he is striving